Hello everybody, this is Eli J. Brown / Eli J. Brony, and welcome to my next episode of How I Got My Lego Bionicle Sets. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how I got the Rahi from 2001. Alright, now I think I remember that in my video where I discussed about how I got my Toa sets, I mentioned that I stopped by a Walmart on my way home with my dad when we were moving houses, and we stopped by a Walmart to see if they had Liwa and Gopaka, but didn't find them. Instead found the Rahi sets. Now I decided not to go into more detail about that because I wanted to save the story about how I got the Rahi sets for this video. So now that we're at this video, I will tell you what happened at that point. After we didn't find Liwa and Gopaka at that first Walmart that we stopped at, we did decide to get the Nui-Rama. Now, the Nui-Rama were the only Rahi sets that Dad was willing to buy for me. Possibly because they were the cheapest. Well, you know, all the others were like $20, $30 or something. I'm not really sure. But I'm sure they cost a lot, depending on what set they were. So anyway, I think I may have mentioned this in my review on the Nui-Rama, but I think I remember mentioning that I wasn't able to assemble them properly. But then we cut to 2013, and I was able to assemble them. I was really happy that after 13 years of not being able to assemble them, I managed to do it. Though it did require me to buy some new parts from Bricklink to replace the ones that I lost over time. But thankfully I didn't lose too many pieces over time, and I'm pretty happy with the Nui-Rama the way they are. They're not the most impressive of the 2001 Bionicle sets, or even any of the Bionicle sets that had ever been released, Generation 1 or 2, but they are pretty good for what they are, and yeah, they were pretty good. Anyway, the Nui-Jaga I think I remember getting sometime after we officially moved. I'm not sure if it was before or after the move, but I think I remember getting those sets at some point. Though I don't think that I actually assembled them right, though I did follow the instructions and got them assembled the way that they should. But I think I remember that at some point when I was like, when something happened with with one of them and I reassembled it the way the instructions told me, I did notice that the tip of the tail piece wasn't facing all the way up like it was before. I don't know if I mentioned this in my review on the Nui-Jaga, but when I was a kid, I thought that the ends of the tails were supposed to be the heads. Kind of like the XT4 and Next Combiner model from Hero Factory's Breakout Wave 2. But anyway, I eventually figured out that that was the tail, not the head. And realized that they looked like scorpions. Now, personally, when I saw an actual scorpion, well, not an actual scorpion, just a picture of one, I kind of thought that it looked like a Nui-Jaga. And the obvious reason for that is because the Nui-Jaga were based on scorpions. The next set that I remember getting would be the Terracotta. Now, I think I remember requesting my parents to get me a number of Bionicle sets for my birthday one year. But the Terracotta, along with two Bow-Rock, which I will explain in my video on the Bow-Rock, were the only sets that they got. I guess I shouldn't have expected them to get everything that I asked for. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they couldn't do that. But don't worry, I got all those sets eventually. And I will tell you how I got them when we get there, both for this video and the upcoming videos. Anyway, oh yeah, I asked for the Terracotta for my birthday, and I got them. And they were pretty interesting. I really liked how, I really liked the features that they had, having those black ball things at the ends. So, yeah, that's about it for the Terracotta. Now for Muwaka and Kane-Ra. I think I remember purchasing them off of Amazon or something, along with Nubak Va, which again I will get to in my Borak Va video. And I remember it took me some time to assemble, well, all of the Titan sets, because they're all pretty big and they take a while to assemble. And I think I remember I got Muwaka assembled, and I started the process on the Kane-Ra, but before I could finish Kane-Ra, my tutor came by at the time, and I had to put it on hold until I was done with my tutor. Then as soon as my session was over, I went back to work on Kane-Ra, and I got it finished. Now, I think I may have already told this story in my review on the mana, but I'm going to tell you again. The mana were, well, I gotta say, one of the most impressive sets released in 2001, or even of all time. They were these remote-controlled crabs, and I really wanted to get them because I really liked the idea of using remote controls to move them about. But I think that they were the most expensive sets at the time. I think that they were like $50 or something. I'm not really sure. I probably will have to look it up. So, anyway, I think I remember I had this envelope where I would put in the money that I was saving for the mana. And I already licked the envelope, but I left it open, and I would close it as soon as I got enough money for it. But some kid that was visiting me at the time at one point actually closed the envelope early. But I don't think it really mattered because I'm pretty sure it actually dried up by then. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't pre-lick an envelope, right? Also, the kid didn't speak English. I'm just going to give you that much. So the day came and we finally got the mana sets. Hooray! I really enjoyed those, though I do remember playing with this same kid that didn't speak English, as I've mentioned before. We were playing around with the mana sets, and I think I remember driving the one that I was controlling down the steps, and he did the same thing. He liked repeating everything that I did. But you don't want to hear that story, right? And doing so made the mana fall kind of apart. But I managed to get them back together eventually. It didn't take like a day. I don't know how long it took me, but I managed to get it, and yeah, it was all good. So that's pretty much my story about how I got my my mana sets, and they were all, well, not just the mana sets, but all of the 2001 Bionicle sets. So that at 2001 Rahi. Okay, well, that's pretty much all for the 2001 Bionicle sets. Next time I will start off 2002 with the Borak sets. I'll see you then.